Well, welcome back to State Park Sundays. Today you join me at this new hidden gem I just found. I love it already. This is Danish Alps State Recreation Area located way up here in northeast Nebraska. South Dakota's right there. We're about, I think, 10 miles away from Sioux City, to tell you, if you're even remotely familiar with the area, how far up we are. And if you can't tell, it's a little hilly with how my camera's pointed. So let's go ahead and start the tour. This is a fantastic park with offerings for, I tell you what, if you're a horse lover or if you're a fisherman in particular, this is a heck of a place with some amazing equestrian camping and equestrian options, along with some amazing fishing options. This is a fantastic park. So let's get to it and start the tour. All right, welcome to Danish Alps State Recreation Area. And the first thing you'll notice when you'll come in, indicating a park that is quite busy, is that there is a station for registering and getting permits and things like that. And you can buy your park permits here if you don't already have them. You can pay your campsite fees and reserve a campsite here if you don't already have that reserved. And this park is interesting in that it only has primitive, electric plus, and it looks like the blue ones are the other electric one. But anyway, there's no basic with a fire ring, so that's cool though. As you'll see in just a minute, that's great. And they do have a firewood stand off to the right if you need firewood. So let's go ahead and get heading into the park here. Off to the left, we'll get to in just a minute. But off to the left is a fish cleaning and dump station, so that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start by going to our first right, and we're going to head toward the equestrian campground. As you'll see as we come in, here's a little dais area. We're going to come and cover that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and skip ahead and jump into this equestrian campground, because this is really cool, you guys. Really cool. As you'll see off to the right, we do have a horse trail that starts off to the right, which makes sense because you have your equestrian camping. These are campsites 1 through 29 as we start, if you're looking on a state park map and you're trying to follow along. But here's something you'll notice. Look off to the left. Yeah, you have a corral. Okay, there's a corral. This isn't the only one too. So you have 29, it looks like, equestrian campsites here, and these are all electric plus sites. Some of them have the concrete pad, and some of them do not. But these are all great, beautiful campsites. I mean, look at this. I am very impressed. And a lot of these sites have their own corral. Like this, if you're an equestrian camper, this has got to be one of your top sites in Nebraska. Off to the right, you'll see we do have plenty of water options. But again, look at that. You got a corral. I mean, we got a nice bigger corral off to the left. Now, as we're driving by, you'll notice the lake and all the fishermen out here. I did briefly talk to somebody, and they said the fishing here is great, as evidenced by the fact that this is a Tuesday in late April, and the place is actually quite busy. There's another corral off to the right. And as we drive through the equestrian campsite, you'll note that there is there's actual stalls, outdoor stalls over there. So forgive my stumbling over words there for a minute, but I'm not really a horse person. I do know enough from growing up in Nebraska. But look at all these corrals. Like I said, we're going to keep going through this, and this is crazy how many corrals there are. So as we're about to get out of the site, we do see the important thing, which is the bathrooms. We're going to do our first bathroom check. Actually, it's the second, I have to be honest. Well, let's go ahead and check out the bathrooms here really quick. What are we going to have for bathrooms? That's always the question when you come to parks, right? And I got to be honest, sometimes it will make or break. I'm going to tell you, I have bright signs from the outset, because look what I see. I see change. I've got a male and a female. I bet you I know what's in here. Are they open? Oh, they're not. I think we're a little too early in the season for these to be open. Yeah, I would guess that these are shower sites. And just given by the fact that this is still covered up, we're still a little too early in the season, but if I had a wager on it, those are showers. So very, very cool. Very nice campground. Let's keep touring, shall we? Okay, leaving the bathroom area. Here, I'll fill you guys in a second, but off to the left again, we have another corral. And then for you equestrian folks, this is what's really nice, is there's a muck station off to the right if you look. So that's really, really nice. Again, this whole park just impresses me. We'll get to more of that in just a second. I was fortunate to be able to talk to a couple of the employees here. In fact, I believe the 2 employees that are taking care of the park. So as we go right out of the equestrian area, if you are a tent camper, this is your option. These are all basic sites. These are all what they call primitive camping sites. Some have fire rings, it looks like, some do not. But what's nice about these is they're only $10. And a lot of them have your area to tie down your horse. And that day use area off to the left that I kind of zipped by as I came into here, that is a nice little day use area. It's got water. The bathrooms, again, those are just outhouses. They're nothing special, but they are nice and well-maintained outhouses. This is what gets me about these parks, is that you can always tell the ones that have a community and employees that are taking care of them, and this one definitely has that. It very much shows. Now, off to the right, you'll notice there is an open parking lot. Hopefully I'm getting a great shot of it. This is an equestrian parking area, so if you have your horse trailer, you can go ahead and park there, because off to the left, you'll see the horse trail starts. So, again, off to the right, you have a very generously sized grass equestrian parking area. Now, I'm not a horse guy, so what's coming next, we're going to zip up the road and check out. This is my kind of thing. This is the fishing, and boy, I got info on that. Pulling into the fish dock, or the boat ramp area. Here's what's impressive about this. I would want you to know how much parking is here and how well maintained it is. Okay, this is a lot for as small of a lake as this is, and I'm gonna go ahead and somewhere, maybe in a voiceover or something, or maybe right down below as I'm saying this, I'm gonna tell you how big it is. It's not a huge lake. And we're gonna get into another thing in a second, but off to the right, we have day use area 1, which sits along that beautiful trail that runs around the entire park. And this is a no motorized vehicle, no horse trail, so it's a human walking trail. But we do have that nice, beautiful day use area with that shelter. Now, you'll see a lot of fishing piers out there. A lot of those, you can walk out and sit down on the rocks. So that's great. But again, look at all this parking. Here's what we're gonna get into, folks, fellers, everybody. This is a 5-mile-an-hour lake. They have all this parking for a 5-mile-an-hour lake. Bathrooms, again, those off to the right, those are just your basic outhouses. But here's, this is awesome. This has got a very generously sized boat ramp, so you can get in your pontoon boats. If you look down there, you can see just how big that is. And it's also got those nice new docks. Those are so nice to launch off of. That's just fantastic. And then you have the launch off to the right for handicapped, and then you also have a dedicated paddlecraft launch. Okay, so I had the pleasure of speaking to 2 of the employees here, and they told me that the fishing here is great, which I said to them, well, it's got to be, because this is a Tuesday in late April, and it's like 55 degrees out, and there's quite a few boats out there for it. And for being in the middle of nowhere, they said that the fishing is great, and they said especially on those days when it's 70 degrees and the wind is low, said, man, they are just quite a few boats. But again, this is a 5-mile-per-hour lake, no wake, so do not bring your jet skis, your ski nautiques. Please respect that, because the water's beautiful. We aren't going to be able to get Air Unit 1 up to show you, just because there is a lot of, I've noticed a lot of aviation traffic. I'm just not going to, even though it is allowed to fly, I'm not going to do it. Now, let's go ahead and skip down the road, and we're going to check out the rest of the Electric Plus sites that aren't the equestrian sites. And boy, you're going to want to check them out. They're beautiful. But as we're driving, really quick, I'd like to know, just keep an eye on how many of those fishing piers you see out there for you shore fishers. Again, this lake has just a ton of them. We're coming up to a fork in the road, and we're going to do right. And that's going to be day use area 1 and the pull through sites 30 through 33. These are some beautiful sites. I'm not an RV person, but I do know several, and I've had experience renting them. These are great sites. So you'll be able to pull through. These couple are gravel. This is site 30. It's an Electric Plus site. And look at that. It just overlooks the lake. That view is just beautiful. As we keep going down the road, you'll see more of the same. These pull-through sites with a park bench and a fire ring. We do have some water there off to the right. And you'll note down below that, again, another one of those fishing piers. There's site 33 for those of you interested. And we are going to come up to day use area 2. This is a beautiful little day use area for you with families that want to just get out and have your kids enjoy the outdoors. So again, there's a shelter with water right there and a elevated fire pit. As we come off to the right, you'll notice that there is a beautiful little playground. And it's not a big one, but this is that nice new padded material. So when somebody topples over, they don't get hurt. Very, very well thought out. Bathrooms here are just your primitive outhouses. Again, but they're very well maintained. You're going to hear me say that about 1,000 times. Down there off to the right, and probably on the camera now, you are going to see a beautiful fishing pier. Has benches and everything. That's really nice. Actually, I'm kind of kicking myself for not bringing my stuff with. And we do have another shelter with water to the right. Now we're going to come out, and we're going to scoot up the road, and we're going to take a right at the fork of the road. Okay, taking a right at the fork of the road, we're going to go through RV campsites 34 through 73. This is the bulk of the campsites at this park. The employees did tell me that even on holiday weekends, they usually will have sites open. So if you're looking for a place to go, keep that in mind. Very rarely do they say that they're full. Again, these are more of those pull-through sites that, generous water around everywhere, which for you RVers I know is a big thing. That's very nice. We're going to keep coming. Oh, by the way, there's those employees, and I'm going to go and wave at them because they're great and do a heck of a job at this lake. Off to the right and off to the left, we start seeing some of the concrete pad sites, pull-through sites, handicap accessible, or if you have those heavier RVs, that helps. Off to the right, we have the camp host. We are off season right now, so obviously the camp host isn't here. But again, we're going to keep going through this area quick. I know this might be quick because there's not a lot to say because these are all the same, but these are all those Electric Plus back-in sites. What's really nice up here is they have those nice new, I'm kind of jealous, they have the nice new park benches. They're not the splinter machines that we have down in southeast Nebraska. Yeah, they got those nice new ones. Again, more water off to the left. Man, this view off to the right. If you're in these sites, I would just love to just sit there and look out on that beautiful lake. Wow. Just beautiful. The site 54 in particular off to the right here, that one would be a killer site. We're coming to another fork of the road, and we're going to take a left just because off to the right is just more of those back-in sites. And off to the left is something of interest to all of us, which is the bathroom. So we're going to go ahead and head up to there. I will spoil it for you. Those are all locked up as well still because they are still getting them going for the season. But I did, again, have a chance to talk to the wonderful employees here. And they told me that, yes, those are all 4 shower stalls, 2 male, 2 female. And that they do have the change machine working. And they do take great pride in keeping them clean and nice. So just for you, for an option, if you're coming up here, that means you got, this is actually pretty impressive, honestly, considering the size of the recreation area. That means you got 8 total shower stalls in the park. It's great, honestly. Right, we're gonna leave the RV site. We're gonna zip down the road. With the power of editing, I'm gonna go ahead and make that go a little faster. And we're gonna go to the other little areas of the park. Okay, as we're coming out of the main area of the park, you'll notice off to the right you have a dump station for your RVs and a fish cleaning station. The employees actually were working on that a bit when I talked to them. Just again, getting this all cleaned up, and that is a nice fish cleaning station. It's one of the new ones. Man, I just can't get over how nice it is. The astute among you may notice for the bouncing around and just viewing the road, and the fact that I've had to stop about 4 times and remount my my outside camera, that the roads are a little bumpy. They are working on getting those cleaned up. Again, we're not in season yet. We're still technically out of season. So you come to this park in 2 weeks, I bet you it's going to be absolutely perfect. Another horse parking area across the way there. Very, very nice. Coming out on the road, and we're going to go over the, I suppose you could call it the dam. And just look at that lake. Just a beautiful, beautiful blue lake. You do have off to the right, there is no parking, but if you want to hike over there, there is some hiking area. It's very pretty. Off to the left, again, we have this beautiful, off to the left, again, we have this beautiful, beautiful lake. And I'm right to the wind now, so hopefully you can remotely hear me. Otherwise, this is going to be very interesting. Just a beautiful lake. I can't get over how nice it is. And look at it. All right, for those of us that are anglers, you'll notice that all this underground structure or underwater structure, I should say, all these trees poking out, man, that just really promotes some great fishing and great fish habitat. So just a beautiful lake. The water is very, very, very nice, very beautiful. Now we are coming up off to your left, we're coming up to the Richard Connolly Day Use area. Very nice area. Let's go ahead and pull in there. Again, no camping here, it's all day use. I'll try to be respectful of some folks out walking their dog. Let her go ahead and get past so I'm not recording people. But as we come into the Richard Connolly Day Use area, you'll notice some nice parking. Then we have that huge day use shelter. That's massive, and I believe it's reservable. So you got a huge day use shelter. There's bathrooms. Again, they're not the fancy new ones, but they are, as far as outhouses go, very nice. Then you got the beautiful walking trail that goes around the lake, and you got lots of area to sit and fish here along this edge of the lake. Leaving the Richard Connolly Day Use area, which if you're having like a little family reunion or maybe just having some get-togethers with some buddies, that would be a great place to do it. This is about the end of the lake, and that's honestly too bad in my opinion because I love this place. You'll probably see more videos from me up here at some point. You do have an observation blind off to the right. This is a no hunting area, so it is strictly that, a observation blind. Again, we get that view off to the lake, off to the left of the lake, and you can see it isn't that big of a lake, but you know what? In the immortal words of Han Solo, she might not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. Just based on the folks that I've talked to around here, I did have the opportunity to talk to somebody that was fishing. And then I did have the opportunity to talk to those employees, and they just were fantastic and confirmed how good the fishing is here. When they're hitting, they're hitting. Turning left to the last two little spots that make up the park. We do have a little parking area over here if you want to, again, park. I don't know that that's necessarily horse parking, but you would have that if you wanted to go out and get on that trail, maybe go out and sit and fish. And then our final parking lot is coming up here. Coming up to the end of this one, I tell you what, this is a hidden gem. I love this. This is exactly what I was going for in this series. I'm going to definitely be back here at some point, if not to camp, definitely to fish. And I encourage all of you to think about doing so. I also encourage you, while you're here, to just please consider helping out or donating, or even better, adopting a pet from your local animal shelter or animal rescue. If you don't have a local animal shelter or animal rescue, I've links them down below. Today joining me are my two rescue dogs, Goose and Bronco. And it just reminds me that how important that is to have a buddy to come out here with you. We're in that final area where we're going to say goodbye to this beautiful lake, Danish Alps State Recreation Area. I'm off to two more parks today, but man, I tell you what, I am a little kicking myself for not having my tent in with me. What a beautiful area. What a beautiful area. What a great time. Thank you so much for watching this State Park Sunday, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. Please consider sharing, and subscribing so that you can see it when I am posting new ones of these every single week, if not more. So thanks again for joining. We'll see you in the next one.